Hey guys, I just thought I'd give you a few sort of basic thoughts on the Ducktales pilot that aired on Saturday. It was on all day in America on Saturday, apparently, but not being in America, I had to wait for an online feed to show up. So, yeah, it was quite good. It seemed basically to be two episodes like back to back, like a sort of two-parter, kind of like how the original pilot was like a five-parter. The first half seems to be basically just setting up an introduction to all the sort of characters, which, looking back, it's kind of interesting, just to draw you into the show, but looking back on it, it's not a particularly interesting kind of story. And then the second part was the basic kind of adventure and story. So the second part definitely gives you a better sort of feel of what kind of show this is going to be. So I'm happy to say that the second part I thought was really good. First part, because I knew these characters already, I know the basic setup of the show. It's a bit boring. But, it's kind of neat to be reintroduced to these characters and everything. The thing that really stands out to me as something they're going to try and make a little bit kind of innovative about the show, make it different from the original, is Huey, Dewey, and Louie appear to all have different and quite distinctive different personalities. Huey seems to be quite adventurous. Dewey seems to be quite sort of adventurous and sort of tech savvy. Louie seems to kind of be developing a bit of a bond with Webby. They'll probably get more into makes him more distinctive later on in the show. They're giving them different voice actors. In the original show, I'm pretty sure they all had the same voice actor. And also their outfits look a little different as well. I mean, obviously they wear different colours. Huey wears red, Louie wears green, and Dewey wears blue. That was always the case even in the original show. But here, their outfits actually look different even beyond just the colours. Really like what they've done with Webby. Terrible character, I thought, in the original show. Really massively overly cutified with, just her design and the voice. But what they seem to be going with this character seems to be a lot better. It's kind of, she's almost like a Mabel sort of clone. I always get that kind of vibe from her. Much better voice, much better design, much more interesting kind of character. And I don't know, Louie and Webby, is that kind of going to be a sort of Dipper and Mabel sort of thing going on there? I love Gravity Falls, so that's fine by me. It's a Disney show, so, they can't be accused of plagiarism or anything. Scrooge, David Tennant voicing him, you can't go wrong with that, really. Donald appears to be playing a larger role in this show than he did in the original show, where really he just shows up for a couple of episodes at the beginning, and I don't think we ever see him again after that. And that's fine, that's kind of an interesting kind of new approach to take. I mean, it makes sense in a way, since he is technically the nephew's legal guardian still. He's just, dropping them off with Scrooge, just to look after them for a bit. The only kind of issue I have with that is I do have a hard time understanding what he's saying sometimes. And apparently this is an issue a lot of people have had. And the basic defence to this seems to be, oh, but Donald has always had that voice. Going back, to the classic short cartoons like in the 20s or something. He's always talked like that. That doesn't mean it isn't still a problem, guys, if you're having trouble understanding him like I am. I kind of hope they sort that out in some way, either, by making his inflections or just making his voice a bit better defined, a bit easier to understand, or alternatively just giving us subtitles. But I don't know, the idea of subtitles in a kids' show, that doesn't seem like the best route to take. The theme tune, sort of a remix of the original one, really, in a way. It's not quite as good, actually, I don't think. The music sounds a bit too sort of modernised, almost, which seems weird, because, music hasn't evolved that much in the last, 20 years or so. And the animation actually doesn't look quite as good, I don't think. I get that it's a different style and everything, but I don't know, maybe it's just my personal preference. I don't really like this sort of comic style that they've tried to give it. It's much more sort of stylized. I prefer the more sort of traditional animation sort of look, because it is based on characters from the most sort of classic Disney cartoon. I mean, I suppose the obvious argument people are going to make in defence of that is, well, it is actually based on a comic originally. It being originally based on a comic does not mean it has to be in the comic style. If I want the comic style, you can read the comic, can't you? This is a TV show. I prefer to see it in TV show style, but, that's just me. It's probably something I'll just get used to. Another thing I'll probably just have to get used to is the fact Huey, Dewey, and Louie, even though I like the fact they have different voices in this, they do all sound like adults, basically. None of them sound like kids at all, so that is something I'm obviously just going to have to get used to. Found that a bit jarring when I first started watching that. Launchpad, a little bit downplayed, I thought, in this pilot. Hopefully he's going to play a larger role later on, because he is by far my favourite character from the original show. So yeah, that guys. But before I finish here, just want to give you a quick preview of a video that I am working on at the moment. Yeah, I have no idea how long that video is going to be at the moment, hence X minutes or less. But yeah, not done a film before like this, and you really sort of notice how difficult it is, how tedious it is actually. Going back and forth through the film, having to watch it and re-watch it as well. That's kind of a big deal with a film. Going back and forth across it, consulting everything, making sure you got everything right. It is a lot more tedious when you're dealing with a film than when you're just dealing with a 20-minute episode. Probably got about halfway through writing this into the moment, not even started on editing. That is probably going to be, well, I don't know, maybe I'll release it to time with the release of the second episode of this series, because I believe they're not actually starting like a proper run of these episodes until like sort of late September or mid-September or something like that. I don't know the exact date. I'll put it on the screen for anyone who doesn't know, and then I'll look it up after I finish recording here. But yeah, that is probably going to be the next video you're going to see. Probably won't see it for a while because I think this is going to take some time. But anyway, that's that, guys. What did you think of the Ducktales pilot? If you've seen it, let me know in the comments. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.